Imagine a writer whose ability to explore the depths of the human mind transcends time and space, whose works continue to resonate with readers of all generations. This is Fyodor Dostoevsky, one of the most notable novelists in world literature, whose genius is not limited to creating captivating stories, but also extends to his ability to dissect the complexity of the human psyche. Dostoevsky is not just a storyteller, he is a psychologist of the soul, an explorer of the darkest and brightest corners of the human spirit. His most famous works, such as Crime and Punishment, The Brothers Karamazov, The Idiot, and Demons, are not merely fictional narratives but true treatises on the human condition. In Crime and Punishment, for example, Dostoevsky takes us on a journey through the mind of Raskolnikov, a young student who commits murder and is consumed by guilt and moral torment. Through this story, the author forces us to confront questions of morality, justice, and redemption, revealing the fragility and complexity of the human spirit. In The Brothers Karamazov, Dostoevsky delves even deeper into existential questions, exploring themes such as faith, doubt, and the search for the meaning of life. Each character represents different aspects of the human experience, and their interactions create a mosaic of emotions and dilemmas that challenge the reader to reflect on their own beliefs and values. The Idiot and Demons continue this exploration, each in its own way, offering a penetrating view of the forces that shape human behavior. Dostoevsky uses his personal experiences, often painful, as fuel for his writing, transforming his own struggles and triumphs into an inexhaustible source of inspiration and insight. His imprisonment and exile in Siberia, events we will address later, were crucial for this transformation. These extreme experiences not only shaped his worldview, but also provided him with a unique understanding of human nature, which he skillfully incorporated into his works. Dostoevsky shows us that even in the most adverse circumstances, the human mind is capable of finding meaning and purpose, a message that resonates deeply in a world often chaotic and uncertain. Thus, as we delve into the life and work of Dostoevsky, we are invited to explore not only the stories he created, but also the universal truths he revealed about the human condition. He challenges us to look within ourselves, to question our motivations, and to seek a deeper understanding of what it means to be human. And it is this ability to touch the core of the human experience that transforms Dostoevsky into not just a novelist, but a true genius of literature and psychology. Fyodor Dostoevsky's journey in the literary world began with a bang but quickly turned into a path filled with challenges and disillusionments. His debut novel, Poor Folk, published in 1846, was met with almost immediate acclaim, catapulting him to fame in the Russian literary scene. The work, which depicts the lives of ordinary people struggling against poverty and oppression, was hailed by critics and readers as a revelation, a testament to Dostoevsky's ability to capture the essence of the human experience with rare sensitivity. Poor Folk not only established Dostoevsky as a promising new voice in literature, but also highlighted his innate ability to explore the emotional and psychological complexities of his characters. Through an epistolary narrative, he brought to life characters who, despite their difficult circumstances, exhibited emotional depth and resilience that resonated deeply with the audience. This early work seemed to herald the emergence of an author destined for great achievements. However, Dostoevsky's path to lasting recognition was far from linear. After the initial success, he faced a series of setbacks that would test his determination and resilience. His subsequent works, such as The Double and White Nights, failed to capture the same attention and enthusiasm that Poor Folk had generated. Critics who had once praised him now appeared indifferent or even hostile, and the public seemed to have lost interest. This phase of his career was marked by a series of personal and professional difficulties. Dostoevsky, who had tasted success, now found himself struggling to maintain his relevance in a literary environment that quickly considered him outdated. The negative reviews and lack of recognition not only affected his confidence, but also led him to deep introspection about his art and purpose. These early difficulties, however, were crucial for Dostoevsky's development as a writer. They forced him to confront his own insecurities and seek a deeper understanding of himself and the world around him. Instead of succumbing to despair, He used these experiences as fuel for his creativity, allowing his personal struggles to inform and enrich his future works. Dostoevsky's ability to transform adversity into art is a testament to his resilience and vision. He understood that the true depth of a writer is not measured solely by immediate success, but by the ability to persevere and evolve in the face of difficulties. This initial phase of his career, though fraught with challenges, was essential in shaping the literary genius he would become, laying the groundwork for the masterpieces that were yet to come. Fyodor Dostoevsky's life took a dramatic and irrevocable turn in 1849 when he was arrested for his participation in the Petrashevsky Circle, an intellectual group that met to discuss progressive social and political ideas. In Tsarist Russia, where censorship and repression were the norm, such gatherings were viewed with suspicion and fear by the authorities. The Petrashevsky Circle, although composed of young intellectuals seeking to debate and promote social reforms, was considered a threat to the autocratic regime. The infiltration of the secret police into the group led to the arrest of its members, including Dostoevsky, who was accused of conspiracy against the government. For him, a man who had begun to explore the complexities of the human soul in his works, this imprisonment represented a devastating blow. In his own words, "When I found myself in the fortress, I thought the end had come." This reflection captures the despair and sense of helplessness that overcame him upon realizing that his freedom and possibly his life were at risk. The imprisonment and subsequent trial were only the beginning of an even harsher ordeal. On December 22, 1849, Dostoevsky and his companions from the Petrashevsky Circle were taken to the scaffold, believing they were about to face death. With blindfolded eyes and a racing heart, he awaited the fatal sound that never came. At the last moment, the death sentence was commuted to 4 years of forced labor in Siberia, a decision that, although cruel in its execution, offered him a second chance at life. This experience of being on the brink of death had a profound and lasting impact on Dostoevsky. The proximity to the inevitable end forced him to reassess his priorities and seek new meaning in his existence. The feeling of being snatched from the jaws of death instilled in him a renewed appreciation for life, a visceral understanding of its fragility and preciousness. This internal transformation is captured in his reflection. Life is a gift. Life is happiness. These words are not just an expression of gratitude, but a testament to his new philosophy of life, which valued every moment as an opportunity for growth and discovery. The exile in Siberia, which followed the commutation of his sentence, was a period of intense suffering but also of deep introspection. The harsh conditions of the forced labor camps tested his physical and emotional endurance, but also provided him with a new perspective on human nature. Living with criminals from all backgrounds, Dostoevsky witnessed both the degradation and the inherent dignity of the human spirit. He saw how, even in the most adverse circumstances, people were capable of finding meaning and purpose, a lesson that would become central to his work. During these years of exile, Dostoevsky began to develop a more complex and compassionate view of the human condition. He realized that life, despite its difficulties and sufferings, was intrinsically valuable. This understanding was reflected in his later works, where he explored themes of redemption, hope, and the search for meaning in a world often chaotic and indifferent. The experience of the mock execution and exile in Siberia not only transformed him as an individual, but also enriched his writing, allowing him to create characters and narratives that resonate with authenticity and emotional depth. Fyodor Dostoevsky's experience in prison and exile in Siberia was a school of life that taught him profound lessons about human resilience and the complexity of human nature. The adverse conditions of the forced labor camps were brutal, testing the physical and emotional limits of any human being. Yet, it was in this inhospitable environment that Dostoevsky discovered the extraordinary capacity of humans to adapt and survive, a truth encapsulated in his observation: man is a creature who can get used to anything. This capacity for adaptation was not just a matter of physical survival, but also of mental and emotional endurance. Dostoevsky realized that even in the most desperate circumstances, individuals were capable of finding ways to preserve their dignity and humanity. This resilience became a central theme in his work, where he often explored how his characters faced and overcame seemingly insurmountable adversities. In addition to resilience, Dostoevsky also witnessed the dynamics of power and corruption that permeated life in prison. He observed how power, even in small doses, could corrupt those who wielded it, a perception he expressed clearly. A man who has once experienced this power. This reflection on the corrupting nature of power would become a recurring theme in his works, where he explored the complex relationships between authority, morality, and freedom. However, perhaps the most surprising lesson Dostoevsky learned in prison was the discovery of the inner riches of the prisoners. In an environment where everything seemed lost, he found a depth of spirit and a wealth of human experiences that defied expectations. In prison, you would see in it such riches. This observation reveals Dostoevsky's ability to see beyond superficial appearances and recognize the intrinsic value of each individual, regardless of their external circumstances. These lessons from life in prison not only shaped Dostoevsky's worldview, but also enriched his writing, allowing him to create characters and narratives that resonate with authenticity and emotional depth. He understood that the true wealth of a person does not lie in their material possessions or social status, but in their capacity to love, suffer, forgive, and find meaning amidst chaos. Fyodor Dostoevsky's experiences not only tested his physical and emotional endurance, but also led him to profound psychological and philosophical revelations that became central to his literary work. Amidst extreme adversities, Dostoevsky began to understand the vital importance of meaning, purpose, and hope in human life. He realized that without a clear sense of purpose, the human mind can easily succumb to madness and despair. This search for meaning is a recurring theme in his works, where his characters often face existential crises that force them to confront their own beliefs and values. Dostoevsky understood that even in the most desperate circumstances, the ability to find meaning can be the difference between survival and surrendering to despair. This insight is one of the reasons why his works continue to resonate with readers of all generations, offering insights into the human condition that are as relevant today as they were in his time. Dostoevsky's reflection on suffering also plays a crucial role in his philosophy. He observed that pain and suffering are always inevitable. This quote encapsulates his view that suffering is an inescapable part of the human experience, but also a potential source of growth and transformation. In his works, Dostoevsky often explores how his characters deal with suffering, often finding redemption and deeper understanding through their trials. For Dostoevsky, suffering was not just a condition to be endured, but an opportunity to explore the depths of the human soul. He believed that by facing and overcoming suffering, individuals could achieve a deeper understanding of themselves and the world around them. This view is evident in characters like Raskolnikov from Crime and Punishment, who, through his moral and psychological torment, arrives at a new understanding of his own humanity. The life and work of Fyodor Dostoevsky are a powerful testament to the transformative impact that personal experiences can have on art and human understanding. Throughout his life, Dostoevsky faced adversities that would have broken many, but he managed to transform these trials into an inexhaustible source of insight and creativity. His journey, marked by moments of despair and revelation, shaped him into a writer of unparalleled depth, whose ability to explore the complexities of the human psyche continues to resonate deeply with readers of all generations. The experiences of imprisonment and exile in Siberia were crucial to this transformation. They not only tested his resilience, but also provided him with a unique insight into the depths of the human condition. Dostoevsky emerged from these experiences with a richer and more compassionate understanding of human nature, which he skillfully incorporated into his works. He showed us that even in the most adverse circumstances, the search for meaning and purpose can guide us through the darkness, offering hope and redemption. The psychological depth of his works did not go unnoticed by his contemporaries and subsequent generations. Friedrich Nietzsche, one of the most influential philosophers of the 19th century, recognized the uniqueness of Dostoevsky's insight, referring to him as the most valuable psychological material I know. This quote from Nietzsche is not only a compliment to Dostoevsky's literary skill, but also an acknowledgement of his ability to capture the essence of the human experience in a way that few writers have managed. Dostoevsky left us a literary legacy that continues to challenge and inspire. His works are more than mere stories. They are profound explorations of the forces that shape our lives, the choices we make, and the consequences we face. He invites us to look within ourselves, to confront our own insecurities, and to seek a deeper understanding of what it means to be human. Ultimately, the life and work of Dostoevsky remind us that adversity can be a catalyst for greatness. He shows us that even in the most difficult circumstances, the ability to find meaning and purpose can guide us through the darkness, offering hope and redemption. And it is this message of resilience and transformation that continues to resonate with readers around the world, ensuring that Dostoevsky's legacy endures for future generations.